kicking off summer with lots of new choices at the Team Automotive Group. Save on everything new during the Memorial Day sales event happening now at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
That would be concerning and maybe set a precedent moving forward.
If you have plans to be outside, you might hit a couple of these little passing showers.
A drug bust and a few arrests made. Look at what they hauled in here.
Good morning. Man, it feels good to say we're over the hump. We just got to get through this Wednesday to make it closer to Friday.
You know, depending on the day, like as the week goes on, does that hallway get longer? Like in between the main studio and here, like you're just like running.
There's extra blocks in between somehow.
Maybe it's because I'm old and out of shape and bad knees and a bad back.
Every day we're training. We're training for a half marathon, it seems.
I need to do some plyometrics or something.
I believe in you. Johnny can guide you.
Hey, well, all right, exactly. The exercise guru. Actually, right here along the levee, West Baton Rouge, it's one of those great spots to get out there, do a little walking, jogging, running. Great view of downtown. Sun's coming up.
I tell you what, and starting off not too bad in our part of the world. Storms have staved off in this morning, but Steve, how is the rest of our Wednesday looking?
Hey Liz, yeah, it's going to be a pretty typical summer day, pretty similar to what we've seen in recent days. We do have some high clouds overhead as seen on our Sky 9 camera, brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. Temperature-wise this morning, starting out from the mid-60s to around 70. Baton Rouge an even 70 degrees. Gonzales, Tahoma 69. Patterson also at 70. Dialing up our first alert radar network. Inland, we are largely dry right now. We have been tracking showers and a few storms down on the coast, out around the Chandeleur Islands as well. Lake Bourne seeing a little bit of activity, but nothing in our part of the world right now. And I think through the morning should stay pretty quiet. Temperatures mid to upper 80s at noon into the afternoon, a high around 90. That's right around normal for the 7th of June. And rain chances around 40%. That's also pretty typical for the time of year. All right, let's give you a look at the rain potential here on Futurecast. The graph model at noon still has this mainly dry here locally, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. As we get into the afternoon and the temperatures get up around 90, that should help to spark at least a few storms. So that's 2 o'clock. You can see them kind of dotted about right on through 5 o'clock, a few more developing, everything kind of moving north to south. And then as we get around sunset this evening, whatever has developed should die down pretty quickly. Still have hints of a weak upper low spinning just to our east this morning, so that helps a little bit with the shower and thunderstorm development. But ultimately today and over the next several days looks to be a fairly typical summertime pattern. Now looking ahead to the weekend, we've got the Super Regional out at the box, right? So Saturday, 2 o'clock first pitch scheduled. I can tell you it's going to be hot. Temperatures low to mid 90s, and it's probably going to be another weekend of keeping an eye on our first alert weather app with some scattered storms around. Saturday's rain chances right now posted at 40%. No start time announced for Sunday, so in more general terms, during the day on Sunday, a 30% rain chance. Afternoon temperatures will be low to mid 90s. Now, will the game be afternoon, evening? We don't know. And then game 3, if necessary, Monday. Again, no time announced as of yet, but Monday looks to be similar. 30% rain chance with afternoon temperatures topping out in the low to mid 90s. So be ready for the heat if you head out to the box this weekend. 90 for a high today, but we're getting hotter beginning tomorrow right on into the weekend. I think we'll start to see more in the way of some mid 90s creeping on in. And then as we look into the extended next week, a couple of things to note. Number one, going to trend a bit drier, and as it trends drier, also going to trend maybe even hotter. Mid 90s look to be a good bet, and potentially could start to see some upper 90s creeping into the forecast. So it looks like very hot 10-day outlook in our part of the world. 7:06 now with the check on traffic. Here's Johnny Asian.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad you joined us over here on WAFB Plus. Our slowest little bit of traffic right here is where we always see it, right past the on-ramp here at Range, and then right past O'Neill towards Millerville as you approach Airline Highway, and then from Essen to the 1012. And that's it on the interstate as far as your traffic flow. The rest of it looks really, really good. Earlier this morning, we had a problem at the off-ramp, at the exit ramp. Little bit bit of congestion there, and that backed up onto the exit ramp on I-10 West at 415. It was right in this area right here. All things are open now. Bridge traffic is normal going toward that area. And then there's that 415, the on-ramp going on toward Grove State, on toward the west. So far, so good in that area. 7:07, we like to recap you every morning at 7 o'clock. All the important headlines that you might have missed during 9 News this morning, nicely buttoned up. And a lot of times those headlines are uncomfortable for us to report to you, as is this case from Matt and Liz.
Johnny, I think that's really the best way to put it here. Starting you off with a brand new shooting investigation. This one happening, 5 hours ago? 2:30 this morning. Baton Rouge police, first responders, the coroner's office responding to a shooting on Merganser Avenue in Scotlandville.
So you know where that is? If you travel the area, if you know that area, you know where 110 just comes to an end right there. If you were to keep going, you would actually run into Merganser. It's a north-south route right there. And this is the 9900 block of Merganser. As Liz mentioned, about 2:30 this morning, called out to the scene, and just within the last 30 minutes, they've now actually identified the victim. They're a 69-year-old Ishmael Spears Jr. Now, that's what they know now, but clearly the investigation just getting going. There's a lot they still don't know.
We're told that he was found dead there at the scene. No chance to take him to the hospital and make sure that they could try to save his life. Found there at the scene, but they need to know what happened, what led up to that shooting, and how he died. If you have any information, maybe you live along the area, you're driving past that area, that stretch of the world, and you saw something, please call Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP. Baton Rouge police detectives and Crime Stoppers could really use that information right now.
100% anonymous all the time. They don't want to know who you are, just the information. We'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, a beating death. Right now, this beating took place over the weekend, and then this person died in the hospital. But the connection to another tragic story in Baton Rouge, this is just eerie, Liz.
The victim here is actually an elderly man as well. 63-year-old Hosea Jackson actually is the father of the late police officer Montrell Jackson that died after being shot in an ambush shooting back in 2016. And remember, this incident stemmed entirely of itself after Alton Sterling was shot and killed at the Triple S Mart on North Foster. So a lot of coincidences in this situation, a lot of crazy connections. So it is a lot to follow here, but the newest piece of information is that 63-year-old Hosea Jackson, Montrell Jackson's father, is the one that was assaulted and beat to death, and police want to know who did it.
That's the takeaway here. Those connections, that's what a lot of the community is talking about clearly right now, but the focus for police is figuring out who laid hands on this man to the point where he died from a beating. Crime Stoppers, a number to dial as well here as well. They've got cameras in the area. They're going to be looking through those, but they need your information. It's only going to be, we need to talk. We need to have these conversations. And so they're hoping you can do that. Again, Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP. You know what? Keep that number in mind. From Crime Stoppers to 911 to Baker Police, because they are the ones looking for this missing woman.
They say she's actually been missing for weeks now. 57-year-old Anna Ellis actually stepped out of her home to smoke a cigarette. Well, family says she never came back inside for weeks, Matt. So her family is trying to have the public take a good look at her face here, see if she looks familiar to you. She went missing back on March 3rd.
My gosh.
March 3rd. So if you think you may have seen her anywhere in our viewing area or beyond, go ahead and give 911 a call, and they can get you to the Baker Police Department and make sure, of course, we'd love to reunite her with her family.
Yes, that's the idea. So find the story online, WAFB.com, the 9 News app, social accounts as well. Share it with friends and family. Let's get her back to her friends and family. Let's talk a little bit about this, because you will be talking about this. Political season is about to ramp up a little bit more, right? We got the big governor's race coming up, not too long. It's going to be here before you know it. You're probably starting to see some ads on TV. You're probably starting to see some attack ads on TV.
You're surely seeing them on our channel along with others. PACs, political action committees, paying some big money to produce these ads and to air them. So with the Republican side on the governor's race in Louisiana being really busy, you're going to start seeing a lot more of them. Surely you've started seeing the Stephen Waggis PAC acts that PACs have already started unveiling that we've noticed here on our channel, but you're going to see more of those in the coming days, weeks, and months leading up to the primary election there on October 14th.
So the predominant theory is, going to be a runoff. You're going to have Democrats in this election voting for one candidate in particular. It's the Democrat Sean Wilson. Republicans split among this gigantic pool of Republican candidates. Who gets to be number 2 or 1 in that race and make the runoff? The leading theory is Jeff Landry is leading most of the contenders in the Republican Party right now. So how well do these attack ads from the others work to maybe knock him down a little bit, or how well do his attack ads work to keep him up in that race, because it is going to be going to that runoff between a Republican, more than likely, and the Democrat, Sean Wilson.
Political pundits continuing to keep an eye on that and to see who will be that strong number 2. We'll, of course, keep you updated as we get closer to Election Day.
Speaking of.
Oh, did you see? Mike Pence rolling out a video this morning officially launching his bid. This comes, of course, before his official standing announcement in Iowa, which he said he will do on Monday when he filed his paperwork. So, much like the Louisiana gubernatorial race, the Republican presidential race becoming increasingly larger here, going into the double digits worth of candidates. So now we've got Chris Christie, who announced earlier this week as well. We're still waiting on the announcement from North Dakota's governor, Doug Burgum. And that's just for now. We still have a year plus to see who else may enter this crowded race.
Just getting started, right?
Yeah.
So all that's there for you, too. All right, how to prepare to pay your student loans. The debt ceiling thing, right? Everything, okay, so that crisis averted.
Right.
Part of the deal here, you're going to have to start to repay, get back on those student loan payments. Callie was talking about that this morning.
So your loan servicer should be notifying you in the coming weeks of when those payments should be made. It's going to be at the end of August. So you need to start making those plans now, saving money now, right? Because of the pandemic. 3-year pause on those payments probably meant you were using that money towards other things. Well, now you need to start thinking about setting aside your budget to make sure you can make those payments so you don't go into a worse situation.
Speaking of money, what about that mortgage that you were hoping to maybe get in on, the good mortgage for a brand new house? Look, man, it is very, very tough. No is often the first answer, but it does not have to be the only answer.
No, Dion Guillory spoke with some consumer experts to talk about what to do if you've ever been denied a mortgage. He's got all those details waiting for you on the 9 News app.
Okay, speaking of details, we need to figure out that forecast as we dig into June. It feels very, look, I know Groundhog Day is not in June, but it certainly feels like that for us in South Louisiana. It's just kind of rinse and repeat, Steve.
Yeah, Mother Nature messing with me yesterday. I was off yesterday, as you guys know, try to get a couple of things done. Wash the car in the morning, get rained on twice. I'm out there about 11, and I'm getting ready to mow the lawn. I check my app, and here comes rain. Got rain. I was going to try again later. Got rained on twice yesterday. So, yeah, it's that time of year where you got to kind of work around the afternoon storm. It's going to be that case today. It looks like right on into the weekend.
That WAFB First Alert Weather app is aggravating. It is so accurate. You look at it and you go, well, let me put the lawnmower back in the garage.
Plans are canceled. I know. Well, it's a great asset to have, especially if you may be heading out to the baseball game this weekend, make some weekend plans, or if you're looking for the average weekday mow. Great asset to have.
Great promo right there. Aggravatingly accurate.